So I am, in fact, a big romantic. I have always been very fond of listening to sad pop and singer-songwriter songs about love, and also been enjoying watching a lot of romantic movies and series, and actually been watching quite a lot of anime and reading Japanese manga. Have always been a thing that I've done, but I stopped because it's just got crazier and crazier, and I was like, man, I don't want this crazy anymore. Um, but I've watched some that I am still, still kind of fond of, but not gonna rewatch them because that would take too long. Um, yeah, sorry, a little side note, but I am a big romantic, and I have really been hiding that a lot because I've been kind of ashamed by it, and I don't use my hands right now. It's because I'm a bit uneasy about talking about this, um, because I don't share it to people. I try to hide it because I'm not a fan of it myself. I don't think it's very, what you say, manly, I guess. But when I had that episode last time, I was realizing some things, and this was one of the things that I did not realize it, but maybe more accepted it. That that's just who I am, because for so many years I have really been annoyed by it, that I wanted to watch these things, listen to all this music, because I didn't want to be such a big romantic, because I felt it was hurting me actually to be that kind of a sucker, so to say, for love. Um, but now I feel like I have a healthier relationship both with love and romance. If that's not the same thing, I don't know. Maybe it is. um, and also being more able to accepting that that's how it is. That's who I am. Because in some essence, I might have been trying to, well, when I have tried to hide it and been ashamed of it, I have been ashamed of something that's actually just me. And that has not been working very well for me so far. So I think I should try and shift tactics, like I have done with many other things, like I did in the last episode, trying to be more real, open, honest, and vulnerable. This is still me being very, very open and vulnerable. I am not very comfortable talking about this because I still, I mean, it's a process, I guess. I have accepted it more, but I am still um, maybe not ashamed of talking, maybe a little ashamed. I feel like I might not be blushing. I don't know. I cannot see that, but I feel a bit uncomfortable and uneasy talking about this. But I want to. I After the last episode, I really felt it was strong and powerful, and I felt good sharing some big informations or some big secrets, you could say, some things that I have not said to, I've said to very few people, maybe one actually. Um, and this, I think that some of the people who have been closest to me during the years might know this, but maybe not to the extent that, or how much it has, or how huge it has been in my life, and also how much I've struggled with it. because I, during the years, have struggled with all that with being a man and being masculine and so on. And I don't know if it has been because of this. I think it's more like in the essence of being a nice guy, if you know that term. But there's a guy called Dr. Robert Glover, or a man, he is, I guess, an elderly man who have written a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy, and also a book called Dating Essentials for Men. Yes, that's what it's called. And I've listened to both of them recently and could see a lot of similarities of myself and my life when I was younger to be a nice guy. And when I read the book, I didn't resonate myself as I didn't believe myself to be a nice guy, but I can see that I have been a nice guy and I still was in some way, but also more because then he said the opposite. Okay, there's a nice guy and the opposite of a nice guy is a jerk. And in the middle, there's the integrated man, which you have the nice guy, which is all feelings and no spine. And then you have the jerk, who is all spine and no feelings. And in the middle, you have the integrated man who has the good balance of spine and feelings. And I honestly feel more connected to the integrated man or male because I have realized that I have two sides. And the one that you have seen most in this podcast in earlier episode have been the tough side, where I'm like just I don't know how to explain it. I am very serious and very goal oriented, targeted, moving forward. And then I also have my soft side, as I call it, where I listen to all my music about love, my pop and singer-songwriter music. I also have a very evil playlist with rap and rock about power and not meditation, but motivation. So I kind of have, and that's actually the two playlists I listen to. I listen to one where I have all this power and motivation, listen to that in the morning to get me in the zone before working out and going to work. And then I have the soft playlist where there are all of the sad songs that I've listened or throughout the years. Also, or it has been cut down because there's some that I don't want to listen to this anymore too much. And also I've added the classical music that I started to listen to. I started listening to classical music some years ago. I cannot remember when. And this year I really got back into it and explored it more. So I put that in so that's my soft playlist. And then I have my tough playlist, my power playlist, as I call it. And that kind of explains, or not explains, but shows the two sides I have, the tough side and the soft side. And I have been neglecting my soft side, which I have found out is not very good. I can see now that for having a more healthier mindset, or for me at least personally, I need to have my my both sides intact. Sorry, it's just because there's some issues with the recording I see. I hope it's okay. But yeah, so having a more balanced and healthy relation with my two sides, not being only in the tough side and not only being in the soft side, but have a balanced and maybe actually try to combine them somehow. I think that's possible that you can be maybe not tough, but in the sense of being in balance, that you can switch from being a serious guy who is talking real and facts and so on, and also going over to just be relaxed, soft, and fun. Yeah, I think that could actually be doable, but that might take some time and practice, I guess. But everything is life is practice, I guess. So my two sides, it's not only music. I've also started to appreciate art, and in the forms of paintings, and also appreciating nature a lot, which is very soothing, calming. And then I've also started bathing in the water. I don't know what it's called, but in Danish, directly translated, is like winter bathing, where you just keep on hopping, or not hopping, but going into the water, even in the winter, during the winter, where it's when you go in, your body gets a cold shock. Ice tops, ice baths. It's kind of like that, but when it's winter here in Denmark, it's more cold, so it has a better effect, I believe, because it's colder. So when you go in the water, your body gets a shock and it just contracts. I've read this. It contracts all the blood to the core of your body, to protect itself. And then when you get up from it again, the blood just comes flowing out again into the body, and endorphins are released in your brain. So it feels amazing. And I, for some weeks, when I had a lot of work, I didn't do it because I didn't have time or energy to do it. But I did it. I started last weekend when I did the latest episode. It's like 5 days ago. I started back up again, and the Saturday, the first time I did it after the weeks, it was bliss. It was amazing. And unfortunately, I didn't feel it as good today, but it's still pretty nice. And I just want to keep going, because there's also one thing that's happened today, and I'm still, I don't know. I'm just gonna talk about. Okay, so I bike down after I've worked out. I have not had work today, but I still worked out early in the morning because I like that. My manager was like, "What the hell are you doing here this early?" I'm like, "I'm just working out, man, keeping the routine." But I went down to the place where I go and take a dip in the water, and there's like this promenade that's been built out, and it's very nice bathing zone and so on. And there's recently come a sauna that you can use, and it's opened like a few days ago. So more people are joining. I've talked with some of them, and then today I went in. I was all alone. There was some who came out from the sauna, and then I came back up, and I started dressing again. And then there came this girl. I was sitting with my back to the mainland and with myself out to the sea and getting my socks and shoes on. And then she came and she placed her things right next to me, or like maybe 1.5 meter away. I don't know what that's in feet. I honestly don't care. Maybe 4 feet or something like that. And there was like this whole promenade that was empty. And I look at her and we get eye contact, and I'm like, "Good morning." And she said, "Good morning." And I'm like, "Okay." And she asked, "How was it?" And I was like, "Well, cold." And she laughs. And then I say, "But it was nice." And then we just kind of start talking a little about the sauna and the experience with bathing in the cold water. And I say, "Have a nice dip," because she was going to go in the water when I left. And she said, "Yeah, have a nice Friday." And I said, "You too." And then I biked away. And then I was like, when I came home, I should have asked her out. What the hell am I doing? And I was like, that was so a huge sign that she was interested. And I'm like, that's the thing. I don't see this in the moment, but afterwards, when I reflect on it, I'm always like, why didn't I see it? Why didn't I ask her out? And I think that comes down to what I also mentioned last time, that my Myers-Briggs personality type, the INTJ, the architect, is like completely blindfolded to some of these romantic social interactions. Well, oh, she's just nice. I mean, we just talked and it was kind of casual, but I mean, it easily could. Don't get me wrong, but the way I see it is, it was a huge sign, and we even ended up, having our bodies facing each other, which is also a very huge sign when it comes to the seeing interest. So I'm just like, man, I'm just stupid. I I kind of need to be more on my toes when it comes to talking to girls, because I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just, yeah, have a nice day. I'm set out, set off. It's so stupid, man. Um, there could be multiple reasons for this. And sorry, has nothing to do with me being romantic, but I really want to talk about this. I'm also going to talk about something that happened yesterday. So this is kind of being a bit of a mixed episode. I hope you can accept that. What was it I was trying to say? I think it was that I can't remember. I lost the thread. But I remember. Also that I am a Taurus in zodiac sign, which I also talked about last time, that or apparently the Taurus is like very loyal and very one mate for life. I think you can call it one girl for life for me. So when I don't get this attraction, or I don't know, this feeling, this gut feeling, it might be, then I'm just like, yeah, see ya. Which for other, they would just be like, instantly take upon it, and or acting upon it, I think I should say, and just ask out and go out and start, maybe not start a relationship, but start a thing or so. Where I'm like, but that's not what I want. What I truly want is not, so to say, the one, because I believe that there are not just one. I think there's multiple who have potential to be the one. But that's what I want. I want the one. I don't want to just go from one person to one, then another, and the next one. That's not what I want. And the other thing is, I don't want to use my time searching for it, because I don't have time for it. Or at least I don't prioritize time to it. I just want to, right now, I just want to work, because I am growing immensely much from work and from doing the things I have. And also, what I realized is that I started yesterday morning, I started listening to the second book of David Goggins, Never Finished. And I have so many audiobooks that I've started and are not finished. But I was like, I really need this. I really want to give myself this permission to start this book. So I did. And in one of the first things that he said, there's bit things in the start where other people have talks about David Goggins. It's actually their voices. That's pretty cool. And it's he has like a military operation mission that he states in the beginning. And one of the things he says is, performance matters most when nobody's watching. And when I heard that, didn't only get goosebumps, I got completely fired up, because that's just something that tickles my inner tough tide, where I was like, oh man, that's so cool. So what I want is, I want to make the performance that nobody watched matter the most. Because that's, from me, I'm doing it, and for nobody else. That I want to better myself and I want to achieve something that's solely for me and for no one else. I don't do it for anybody to see. I don't do it for anyone to applaud me or anyone to reward me or anything. I do it for myself and for what I can achieve and what I can do, what my limits might be. And I think that's very, very interesting. And that's why I really, really like David Goggins. If you know him, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, please follow his Instagram account. It's crazy good. And also read his books. His story is really something and really amazing. I just want to say one thing, and I don't agree with the extremes he takes it to. I think he is going too far, that he is ruining his body with the things that he do. However, his messages are very clear and they are very good. And I think you should listen to them, but don't take it to the extremes that he do. He also mentioned this himself. Don't do what he does. It's very dangerous what he does. But listen to his messages and take them to heart. But yeah, so back to the girl from this morning. I just, yeah, that was, I mean, I am accepting more and more that I'm like the one made for life guy, but I should have asked out. I should ask for her name and ask for her number. And like, hey, should we go grab a cup of coffee sometime? It's that easy. But I think it also was because that I was a little off at that time, which happens. I mean, everybody has off days, off times. It happens. So what would I like to say now? I think, yeah, sorry, I'm a bit, I'm tired today, to be honest, a bit off, as I said. I thought I would be more ready, but I unfortunately isn't. But that's the way it is. I have time for it now, so it has to be done, and we gotta do it the way it is. But one thing I want to mention, because yesterday was a very, very good day. And what I would like to say is that in the last episode, I said, if you are listening, please reach out to me. And you know what? There was actually one who did it. And Anton, if you are listening to this, I hope it's okay that I mentioned it, because it really, really touched me when you wrote to me. And I'm not going to talk a lot about it. I just want to mention some of the things that you wrote. And because I'm trying to talk directly to Anton now, because he wrote, first of all, Anton is one of the guys that I went to school with back in the days. I mean, we were in classes from 0th grade to 9th grade. And what I didn't tell last time was that I said I struggled in a period in 7th and 8th grade, but in 9th grade, I am still not sure to this day what happened. I think that, I mean, I just kept on being myself, because I didn't know what else to be, and not shifting to what the other guys like. But then in 9th grade, Anton was one of the guys. I mean, there was a few more. We were like 4 or 5 in the beginning, and actually later the other guys came and joined us. It was like, what the fuck? But we joined up for actually a freelance group in 9th grade. We were 3 guys who were pretty close and just had a lot of fun and did our own things. And it was, yeah, kind of stupid at times, but it was really fun, and I enjoyed it very much. Um, and it was very, very nice for me after the period I had, because it was difficult for me. So having that, ending it like that, with us more like coming together, and as I said, the other guys joining us, I don't know why. Maybe because we were just being ourselves and not caring about the others in the class, so to say, and that was maybe saying, or I don't know what to say, for the others. I don't know. That's just, I mean, speculation. I don't know. But he wrote to me yesterday, and I have not spoken to him since we left school. And that's, as he wrote, it's more than 10 years ago. And he started out writing, I have seen all your podcast episode. And already there, I was like, no fucking way. I mean, Anton, if that's true, I am so, so grateful for that. I cannot tell you how much it means for me. It's amazing. That you support my podcast so much. I'm sorry for what you have watched earlier on. I get a bit embarrassed because I feel like the early episodes was not that great. But I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing. I am practicing and I'm learning every time. But also what he wrote, it was a very sweet message. And I got very, very emotional, and I got very touched by it. And I also wrote back to him. I didn't know what to respond because I was speechless. But he wrote that he could actually see some of the things that I was talking about, and how I might have felt back then. And he just wanted to say that for him at least, it was very calming that I was just being myself and not trying to be something that I wasn't. And I get kind of emotional again, because it's something that I have struggled with a lot, to accepting just being myself and not being like everybody else, because I have always felt like I am different from everybody else. And why I feel that, I'm not sure, but I always feel like that I don't connect very well with people. I mean, few I have connected well with, but it doesn't end up lasting. And that could also just be in a way of people change. I mean, people do change, grow, evolve, develop, what you will call it. And also kind of the lone wolf syndrome that I also talked about last time, that I have been quite alone a lot, and I do enjoy spending time alone. I don't mind it. Um, and I'm not very good at reaching out to people and getting in touch. So most relationships just end up fizzling out in the sand. And also, one thing, sorry for not keeping so good eye contact. I'm not trying to anymore, because I've watched Alex Hormozzi's videos and he does not try to keep eye contact. So I'm like, I don't want to try either, because it's a, sorry to say, pain in the ass to try and stay focused on that lens. I mean, it's much more nice looking out in the window. Okay, back to the topic again. So I really wanted also to say thank you to you, Anton, and I hope that we end up meeting up like we try to set up right now. We might have an appointment already when you hear this in some days, because I really want to talk to you about some things. I want to ask you about some things about myself, but I also want to hear about you, about how you felt during those days, and also how you have been for the last 10 years. And also maybe throwing big of a bomb, trying to get some reunion back to the class, to our school class, because I think that could be very fun, but I don't know if any of the others would be interested. But I feel like I would not be able to do that alone. Maybe I would. I don't know. I think I have to figure that out. But if you want to just, say you would be interested, I think that would be enough encouragement for me to try and set something up and hear all the others out if they would like to. And then if you are from outside listening to this, you might be like, why would you go back to them when they didn't treat you right? And I might not have explained it very well. It was not like they didn't treat me well or do it on purpose. I think it was just something that happened because it is a difficult time for everyone, for every child or young adult to find themselves in that period. So it wasn't, and I don't have anything against the people I've been to class with at all. I mean, I don't hold grudges. I'm not that kind of guy. So, I mean, it could be fun to meet up with all the others and talk and hear what they've been doing. Talk about some of the shit that we did and some of the shit we were dealing with. Each one, if the others could be or can be as honest as I can, because I would love to tell them how I felt, so they might be able to. I mean, also, honestly, they might not care even. I don't know, but it's just for me. It would be nice to come out with it and say I struggled a lot with myself back in those days, and I still struggle with myself. I don't struggle that much as I did back then. Holy shit, I struggle. And also, one thing why the podcast is called The Struggle, because I will always struggle. You will always struggle. That's just life. So this is just the life podcast, the struggle podcast, because struggle is equal life. Okay, it's already been half an hour and I have just been rambling and not very much about what I actually thought I would ramble about. So yeah, I'm a big romantic. I don't know what else to say. I think I will be try to be more open about it and accept it, and being kinder to myself about it, that it's okay and it is who I am, and I should not hide it and not be ashamed of it. And it's not like I'm gonna be like all love from now on. I think I'm just gonna keep, but maybe it will be more like not just the tough side and the soft side, but more in combination and in balance, to have both the soft side and the tough side, being the integrated male. I think that's more powerful, and I would like to achieve that. I mean, that's I like power, not in that way, but I want to improve myself. I want to grow as a human being. That's kind of like the main goal of me, and then I would like to share my experience, my process, to what's going on, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and so on. And you can listen if you want to. If not, then feel free to go. I don't mind. I mean, all this rambling I've been doing for the last... I really need to end this episode. Sorry. Thank you for listening if you have. I will end this episode now, I promise. And I don't know what I want to talk about next time. I remember just now there was something I even didn't talk about. But we'll see what happens next time. It's always interesting to see what the episode is going to be about. So until then, see you then.